Well, hello everyone, and welcome to It Ain't That Bad, the show for those of us who know that life doesn't stop at retirement. I'm your host, Mike, aka that old guy with a guitar. Each week, we're going to explore the challenges, surprises, and opportunities that come with getting older. From Social Security and finances to health, hobbies, travel, technology, and everything in between. We'll have honest conversations with no scare tactics and no sugarcoating. Because no matter what life throws at us, there's usually a way to make the best of it. So let's get started. Today, I wanted to do a follow-up on my recent episode about hobbies in retirement, especially hobbies that might generate a little extra income. One hobby I didn't get into too much detail on was flying drones. I've always thought they were fascinating, being able to launch something from your backyard and see the world from a completely different perspective. It's pretty amazing. It's like getting a bird's eye view without leaving the ground. Well, that's not like it. It is getting a bird's eye view without leaving the ground. But if I'm being honest, I didn't buy a drone just because it looked like fun, although that was the primary reason. But like a lot of retirees living on Social Security alone, I was also wondering if it could become a small source of extra income. The idea sounded pretty good. Maybe I could take aerial photographs for real estate agents. Maybe construction companies would hire me to document the building process. Since I had quite a few years in construction, that was back in the day when I had my own contracting company, that would have been, the cat's meow to have a cool thing like a drone that I could take progress photos of work in progress, so I could turn it in with invoices and prove the work was done. And it'd also be really cool to show new clients some of the work that it was done before. And there's also golf courses, resorts, local businesses, lots of places that use drone photography and video these days. So I started thinking, maybe this might become a nice little fun retirement business. After all, compared to roofing and heavy construction or digging ditches, flying a drone seemed like a pretty low impact way to earn a few extra dollars. So I bought a drone. I got a DJI 4K Mini. Was pretty inexpensive and a basic drone, but it had amazing camera on it. So I bought the drone. The first few flights were both exciting and a little nerve-wracking. If you've never flown a drone before, they're remarkably stable, but there's that little voice in the back of your head asking, please don't crash this thing into a tree. Fortunately, drones today are incredibly smart. They have obstacle avoidance, GPS positioning, automatic return to home features, and cameras to capture some truly incredible video. The more I flew, the more I enjoyed it. Then I started doing something that probably saved me from making a very expensive mistake. I started researching what it would actually take to turn this hobby into a business. And that's when reality started showing up. First, if you're going to make money flying a drone or get any kind of income, you need to have an FAA Part 107 remote pilot certificate. Now, that's not impossible. It's not really that hard to get, but it does require some studying. You got to study airspace rules, weather regulations, and got to pass an FAA knowledge test. But then there's insurance. What happens if you crash your drone into somebody's building or damage somebody's property or run into somebody? Then there's editing software. That's not that big a deal. I have editing software. But you need to learn how to produce professional quality photos and videos, not just fly the drone. That's a real art to that, and it would take a lot of practice to get that down. Then comes the marketing, finding customers, building a reputation, competing with the people who've already been doing this for years. Pretty soon, I realized something. Flying the drone wasn't going to be the job. Finding the customers was going to be the job. And honestly, I didn't retire so I could spend my days chasing clients. I retired because I wanted a little more freedom. That realization really changed how I looked at the whole idea. I asked myself a simple question. Do I really want another business? The answer really didn't surprise me. Nope, not really. What I actually wanted was to enjoy flying my drone. I wanted to get outside. I wanted to go and visit interesting places and take pictures from the sky. I wanted to practice my skills, capture beautiful scenery, maybe film a sunset, maybe record video at a lake or a mountain. I wanted the fun, but without the pressure of a business. So I made a decision. The drone was no longer going to be my next business venture. It was simply going to be one of my favorite hobbies. And you know what? I haven't regretted that decision, not for a minute. Sometimes we retirees put too much pressure on ourselves. Every hobby is supposed to become some kind of side hustle. Every pastime is supposed to make some money. Not a bad idea, but that's kind of missing the point. A hobby that gets you out of the house, a hobby that keeps your mind active, teaches you something new, and gives you something to look forward to, already has tremendous value. Not everything has to produce income. Sometimes it just has to produce joy. If you enjoy photography, marketing, working with clients, and building a business, drone services can become absolutely a successful retirement business, especially if you have experience and contacts in the real estate or construction business. I don't have any of those contacts anymore. That was many years ago. And there are plenty of people that are doing exactly that. It just wasn't the right thing for me. And I'm pretty okay with that. These days, I fly simply because I enjoy it. There's no deadlines, no demanding customers, no invoices, just me, my drone, and a chance to see the world from a totally different angle. And you know, sometimes that's enough. Actually, sometimes that's more than enough. You know, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever started a hobby thinking it might become a business, only to decide it was just more enjoyable keeping it just a hobby for yourself? Or maybe, did you turn your hobby into a successful side hustle? Let me know down in the comments. You know, I read every one of them, and your experiences often inspire future episodes. So, if you enjoyed today's show, I'd appreciate it if you'd give it a thumbs up. Maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share it with someone who might enjoy it. Until next time, keep looking for the good in life. Enjoy the journey, and remember, it ain't that bad. We'll see you next time.